the silent theater of war, where minds collide before swords ever cling. Few thoughts weigh heavier than the command to know thy enemy. To discern the enemy's mind is to glimpse the architecture of their intent, the rhythm of their strategy, the logic behind their movements, and the purpose guiding their execution. In perceiving their thoughts, one does not merely anticipate their actions, one enters the very space between battles or conceived. Mastery of their understanding is not the end of conflict, but it is the moment one has already won half the war. Undefeated two-division world champion and pound-for-pound star Jesse Ben Rodriguez is set to enter a high-stakes unification showdown against Fernando Puma Martinez, who's riding the momentum of two impressive victories over former world champion Kazuto Ioka. While the old adage reminds us that styles make fights, this upcoming bout offers a fascinating study in contrasting boxing archetypes. In this analysis, we'll break down Puma Martinez's fighting style and tactical tendencies, exploring the specific challenges he poses for Ben Rodriguez, as well as the potential vulnerabilities that Rodriguez may be able to exploit in pursuit of supremacy. Fernando Puma Martinez is a pressure brawler whose boxing style is defined by explosive offense, high-fire power, and exceptional conditioning. He's a textbook example of a brawler who applies pressure and power to break opponents down through pacing and persistence rather than single-shot power.
As you look at them, they're both 30 years of age, but Cajas has such a... There's a left hook by Martinez. Martinez being...
It's a rugged, hard-nosed style, driven more by power and grit than finesse. At first glance, Puma Martinez may appear somewhat rigid in his approach, but that stiffness is both by nature and design. Martinez fights off the front foot, distributing more of his weight forward to create a strong offensive base designed for continual pressure.
By Cajas.
By anchoring himself on the lead leg, he can engage directly, maintaining balance when absorbing punches, and hold his ground in the pocket.
To the body.
A key element of his pressure-based style.
Domination wasn't Cajas. Boy, these guys are fun to watch.
Although Martinez is classified as a pressure fighter, he isn't one to freely press forward. Instead, he prefers to operate at mid-range, where he can plant his feet, establish a solid base, and initiate controlled exchanges.
As we are approaching the successful title defenses, he is the...
This distance allows him to maximize his output and work rate, two attributes that test not only an opponent's conditioning, but the durability and mental toughness. While Martinez is not a one-punch knockout artist, his approach is one of systematic attrition, breaking opponents down over time and dragging them into deep waters. His pressure is a gradual suffocation, tightening his grip as the rounds progress.
Ordinaria. Sale de lo normal.
Known for throwing punches in bunches, often surpassing triple digits per round, Martinez ruthlessly probes his opponent's defensive shell. His combinations are fluid and varied, mixing hooks, uppercuts, and body shots with precision at mid-range. Rather than relying on perfect timing or counterpunching, he builds momentum through volume and accumulation, wearing opponents down both physically and psychologically.
More than to make his promoter and man Martinez. Another one, just left hook in abundance as he presses. And
though some of Puma's punches may appear wild, there's a method to his madness. He varies his offense effectively, mixing strikes down the middle, around the guard, and to the body. Within his range of attack, Puma's follow-up depends on his opponent's positioning. If they pull back with a weak base, he continues pressing forward. One of his most effective tools in a scenario is a power jab that closes distance and chains continued combinations. Amid the chaos of his combinations, Puma creates brief moments of pause, small intermittent windows to catch his breath while staying defensively aware of return fire. These micro breaks allow him to recover efficiently and remain ready to respond when the momentum shifts, minimizing his downtime of recovery after periods of combinations and exchanges. His relentless chain combinations often catch opponents off guard. Just as they expect a pause in action, more punches follow.
Derecha de Martínez. Volvía con la izquierda.
Es muy cambiante y exige todo lo mejor de cada uno.
Salió Martínez.
When opponents fail to counter effectively, they're drawn into extended exchanges. Battles that play directly into Puma's strengths, his conditioning, and durability.
Sí, claro.
Buena izquierda en ascendente del Puma. Abajo. Cada golpe cuenta, cada segundo cuenta. Por eso Martínez vuelve a conectar derecha. ¡Oh!
Though Puma's footwork is relatively simple, his true strength lies in his balance. Aside from the occasional wild punch that may momentarily throw him off, his solid base allows him to unload consecutive combinations with stability and control. More importantly, that balance enables him to hold his ground behind a firm guard. With his feet firmly planted on the canvas, Puma can absorb shots on his guard, reducing the force to be driven back, allowing him to fire back immediately after his opponent finishes an exchange. While not particularly flashy or elusive, his positioning keeps him consistently within striking range and denies opponents the space to reset. Martinez builds his foundation around a compact, disciplined guard. Since much of his energy is devoted to offense, his tight guard complements his style, minimizing the need for excessive movement and close exchanges, where precision often fades. Maintaining a tight defense allows him to deflect or absorb many punches on his forearms and gloves. He relies heavily on hand blocks and subtle hand movement, with his durability, conditioning, and small positioning adjustments reinforcing his defensive walls. He's not a slick defender. He absorbs shots to stay within range. His tight guard and stern stance help him absorb blows while keeping his offense primed. His durability allows him to take calculated risks that most fighters can't sustain across 12 rounds. Within this defensive frame and stern balance, there are countermeasures in which allow Martinez to be dangerously defensively. In proximity and within exchanges, his tight guard allows him to catch and counter. This is a reactive base. As soon as he feels the punch on his guard, it triggers his counters. This allows him to catch opponents after or between the punches, disturbing the rhythm or aggression.
Yoka viene de ganarle al venezolano. Yoka tira, Martínez espera. Martínez cierra la derecha. Se queda plantado Fernando Martínez.
What Martinez also does well is counter off punches. His ability to slip punches during high-paced exchanges make him even more of a threat. It's a blend of timing, anticipation, and composure under fire. While reading subtle cues in his opponent's shoulders and hips, he predicts attacks before they fully commit, allowing him to move just enough to make his punches miss by inches rather than feet. This minimal movement keeps him balanced and within striking range, allowing him to fire back immediately. The ability in countering lies in efficiency, allowing Martinez to capitalize when his opponents open up, while disrupting rhythm and punishing overcommitment.
Ahí está otra vez. Vamos a entrar en los últimos 30 segundos.
Each slip isn't just defense, it's a trap, luring an opponent's aggression into an opening for his offense.
I think it's so interesting that under 30 seconds to go here in the fourth, Martinez cannot continue by Encajas. Stepping in, lunging with the left.
Despite his explosive power and fierce pressure, Martinez carries several vulnerabilities that a composed technician like Ben Rodriguez can exploit. Puma's aggression often leads him to overcommit on his entries, leaving his chin exposed and his balance compromised after big swings. His defense relies heavily on a disciplined guard and upper body movement, creating openings for precise body shots and well-timed counters. His position-based style can also be exploited with movement, preventing Puma from having his feet constantly set for explosive offense. Additionally, Puma's tendency to fight emotionally with pressure can cause him to abandon strategy, trading recklessly instead of maintaining composure. Against a fighter with Bam's timing, patience, and ring IQ, these flaws could turn Puma's greatest strengths into the very openings that lead to his downfall. What separates Martinez is the conditioning and mental toughness. He maintains a grueling pace from start to finish, rarely fading or losing focus. His endurance allows him to outlast more technically skilled opponents, breaking them down through sheer volume and pressure. Mentally, he thrives in chaos. The more grueling the fight, the more he seems to come alive. In essence, Fernando Puma Martinez is a volume-based pressure fighter who wins through attrition, not precision. His style mirrors that of a classic pressure brawler. Fighters who impose their will through pace, toughness, and unrelenting pursuit. Martinez's success lies in his ability to transform every fight into a battle of endurance, where few can match his engine or his heart. To Puma, you may be the sharper boxer, but are you the truer fighter? When the canvas turns into a battlefield, skill alone won't carry you through. Your heart must rise larger than your skill set. Because in a war like this, no one leaves the ring the same as they've entered.